2021, Andrew Brown Jr. of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, was shot and killed by 3 deputies with the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office. This incident occurred at the residence of Mr. Brown, located at 421 Perry Street in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. After reviewing the investigation conducted by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, Mr. Brown's death, while tragic, was justified because Mr. Brown's actions caused 3 deputies with the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office to reasonably believe it was necessary to use deadly force to protect themselves and others. While the officer-involved shooting that resulted in the death of Andrew Brown occurred on Wednesday, April 21st, law enforcement involvement with Mr. Brown began in the weeks prior and put the wheels in motion that eventually led to the attempted service of arrest and search warrants on April 21, 2021. In the early months of this year, Detective Johnson with the Dare County Sheriff's Office received information from a reliable confidential source that Andrew Brown Jr. from Elizabeth City was selling drugs in Dare County. Detective Johnson contacted Pasquotank County and confirmed Mr. Brown's identity and that he is a known drug dealer. Upon learning this information, Detective Johnson, with the aid of the confidential informant, made 2 undercover buys from Brown on March 17th, 2021 and March 29th, 2021. Those buys were of cocaine and heroin, respectively. A later SBI lab analysis determined that the heroin was laced with fentanyl. Subsequently, arrest warrants were issued for Brown's arrest on April 20th, 2021. Simultaneous with the activity of the Dare County Sheriff's Office, Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office began collecting their own intelligence on the drug activity of Mr. Brown at his residence at 421 Perry Street. Detective Ryan Meads applied for and obtained a search warrant for the residence and vehicles of Mr. Brown.
You all just seen what I saw, in that this police department was getting their case, their facts together over the past month. They can always say the officers were reasonably threatened. They said that in Breonna Taylor's case. They can say that in any case to justify shooting you down on the streets of America. But this man, 42 years old, you had all those officers go there just to get that one man who did not fire a weapon at him. Yes, a car moved, but you have seen many of videotapes of white people using cars, pulling out weapons, shooting up schools, shooting up stores, and they never been shot down and killed. And the sheriff and the DA say this was justified. You saw when the guy in Colorado shot up the supermarket, the police would have been justified in killing him, but they brought him in. But have you noticed they never bring us in alive? Then after the case, they bring up the record. Well, he sold drugs. He sold heroin. That doesn't mean he deserves to die like a dog on the streets of America. Andrew Brown Jr. is just another victim of the police department in America. Whenever they reasonably threaten, what is reasonably threatened? Me looking at you? Me not throwing myself on the ground quick enough? Me not sitting on the curb as fast as you want me to? Me jaywalking down the street? And you knew the DA was going to come out with this decision for the simple fact they made sure that all the police officers were taken care of. See, you notice some of them retired, some of them quit. That gave them enough time to get their retirement benefits, enough time to move out of town. enough time where they would not be attacked. This is a pure cover-up, and you all know it. A car was you have seen this plenty of times on the news when somebody backed up real fast or shot out from the police department and they didn't unload on him. But when it's a black man, they always feel threatened. But when it's one of their own, they're never threatened. They make sure they chase them down, put the handcuffs on them, and maybe even serve them a Wendy's sandwich. This is disgusting, and I'm extremely angry right now. Why don't you put it in front of a grand jury and let them see all the evidence and let them make the decision? Won't you put them in front of a jury and let them see if it's justified? See, this is how they cover up. Yes, the governor called for a special prosecutor, and they have laws where the governor can basically do nothing about it. But the United States Justice Department can bring civil rights charges against these police officers if they look at the case. This is another case of a black man being murdered, that he could have been brought in, arrested, charges filed against him, then let a jury determine his guilt, not police officers with their weapons on the streets of America. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button. Also, subscribe to this channel.